So we're starting this first one off. A lot of people didn't know that you have to download the app. So now that we're here, let me see if I can actually share this little link. Let's put a little Facebook link out there. Oh, we got 2. There we go.
I hope we don't crash the server with all these people signing up right now.
I know, right? Hey, this is going to be one for the memory books that we're on the first one. First one. Okay. All right. All right. I gotta see if it. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. If you go to our website, we're on there. And we got 3 people. All right. So I'm going to start this off since I can now see you on the thing. So this is going to be our first ever SitRep live. Don't know how often we'll do these. Probably every couple of weeks. Thank you, Chris from First Response Advantage, for joining to talk about 2025 guidelines change. We're using this as an opportunity to give an update on what we're doing on the Hovind side. So as of today, all of the 2025 courses and certifications for AHA have been preloaded. Now we're going to add Shubs into the room too if he wants to join. They're currently in draft state, which means all the course and information are in there, and we're going to roll them out to live. Right now, we keep them in draft because we're also going through, and there are about 200 brand new materials that the AHA released to Shop CPR. So we're putting all of those materials into the site as well. So all the modules, manuals, key codes, everything, all the instructions that you know from Hovind the way it is now for 2025 going forward. If you look in the platform now, all the 2020 courses now clearly say 2020 appended at the front. If there was a 2025 update, the 2020s will say 2020 on the front. And we'll send a ready to schedule email update to everybody, as probably all the other surface areas that we're on. Once we have all the materials, you can actually go forth and schedule. But you'll be able to add the courses, the brand new materials, and then start scheduling right away. Shubs, welcome.
How's everybody doing?
Doing well, thank you.
We're solid.
Good.
I didn't know you had to have this. Should have told you. Everyone needs to be on the phone to have this thing, so you can't join from desktop. You can watch from desktop. You can't actually join from desktop. Yeah. So I know you just jumped in, but if you want, Chubbs, if you want to talk a little bit from the technical side about everything that we've done, I kind of already gave an update on where we're at in the process, just loading materials next. But you want to share what you've been doing on the tech side?
Yeah, I mean, it's been wild because we just got off another customer call too, but it's been wild to try to translate all the course name changes and trying to figure out, and I've been going back and forth a little bit with the American Heart Association as well to figure out how these need to be implemented, what is going to result in our customers needing a new roster to be created, how are the certs going to get created and issued from the American Heart Association as well. So we've been trying to get some more clarity around those areas, especially around, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, so put in the comments if you have. You can now teach a ACLS BLS combo class, but it's unclear to me if that's going to mean like it's just a curriculum, or are they going to actually issue, kind of like the American Red Cross, a single e-card ID that basically says, hey, you're certified in both ACLS and BLS. They're kind of doing that with the heart saver side of the equation, but not necessarily for everything else. So trying to get some clarity around that. So that's been kind of a little bit of a big lift. But nonetheless, it's been awesome because we were able to get most of the courses created, all the existing courses updated. John's already mentioned your notifications, your emails, your descriptions, all that stuff is handled. Today, and basically for the last handful of days, we've been trying to get a good handle on the materials as well. It seems like it's been hard to find all the public facing pages and URLs for all the 2020 materials that existed. So Hardcode is a great example. If you currently look on Shop CPR and try to click Hardcode for BLS, you're going to see only the 2025 stuff. However, the old pages still exist, and for some people that may not necessarily be teaching the 2025 guidelines, you still want to direct them to take the 2020 curriculum or the code if they want to allow them to purchase themselves. So anyway, long story short, we're trying to land the plane on over 300 some materials that the American Heart Association has, and trying to land the plane to figure out which one of these have been updated and have not. We're going through and updating all the default prices as well, because American Heart Association has increased prices for some of their materials. So we're doing a lot of that lifting today. So our hope is that in the next few days, you can click BLS Provider 2025, add your new material. All of it is going to be relatively standard, and you can start teaching in a matter of minutes on the platform. So that's generally kind of what we're working through. But on the technical side, I think that's been the hard part, to find everything, make sure it's working. Are the pages live? Are the links not dead? Have the URLs changed because of the old hard code versus new? Trying to get some answers on some of those types of things has just been a little bit of a struggle. But I think we're making really good progress for all of you, so you guys can hit the ground running.
Thank you.
So I'll do a little bit of housekeeping on those updates, just because we send out a couple of emails, but I know it's always good for a recap. So if you're currently in the platform and you've got your courses and materials and sessions, all of those items should be treated as if they are 2020 until you see the new courses come up. The courses that have definitely changed have already been labeled for 2020, but any session that's been scheduled for those courses will still count as issuing 2020. Reason for that is, in Hoven, we match that course to the actual course that the AHA is running. So the key code, or the code for the card that gets issued through the eCard integration, is always going to look for a 2020 card for that update. So if you're planning to make a change to new 2025 sessions, wait to schedule those sessions until it's the new course. It's going to be this, more than likely, right, Shubs, the same thing for the old materials. You can assume that many of the key codes that you put in for the current materials, if you're doing online learning, would be treated as 2020 key codes until the new 2025 key codes are in.
Yep, that's the plan.
And cool thing is, if you actually go into your students now and look at any student profile and any certification that you've issued through Hoven, we've also appended 2020 to the front of that certification. So not a big deal right now, because everyone was on the 2020 guidelines, but a couple months from now, you'll be able to see anyone with those 2020 certifications getting up, or that need to get updated, know when those got issued. Okay, so Chris, thanks for we got a question from Ashley. So are TC still able to purchase 2020 cards? I'm going to bring that to you. Since we have a TC on the line, we'll ask Chris if he can answer some of those questions. But I wanted to welcome Chris from First Response Advantage to bring some expertise to our little live panel today. So Chris, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about how long you've been in the business and what we need to know. And then I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me on. I'm about year 31, playing paramedic, New York State, New York City, and an AHA instructor for about the same amount of time. And additionally, I'd say over the last 15 years, I've run two of the largest training centers in New York City / New York State as well.
Very cool. So my first question is going to be, because I won't share any names, but Shubs and I were on a previous call with someone who's doing their 2025 rollout, and their goal is by end of next week full switch to 2025, which is the fastest I've heard so far. Question for you is, how quickly are you trying to make the switch? Is this going to be a gradual? Is it going to be a quick thing?
Yeah, so we're looking to push it out as fast as possible right now, but with everyone's business and lifestyle commitments, I would say I'd be hopeful for January 1st with everybody being compliant, and then give everyone about a 2-month grace period to get it done by March 1st, or February 28th, which is the actual deadline. There are a lot of people that are really motivated to get on board with the
Thanks, Ryan.
updates.
We had someone who was Chris Ryan, who's the one who was on there, was talking.
Ryan, I like it. Set the bar high. I mean, I wish I could do. Listen, I did the updates the day they came out because I need to be the tip of the spear. But a lot of people are busy doing other things, so it would be great. I would be super happy if everybody was able to get on board by January 1.
Sticks or honey depends. I mean, each one of them works. So Chris, 30 years. So that's a lot of, we could measure those in guidelines changes. That's a lot of guidelines changes.
Yeah.
Is the operational headache consistent with each one? What's the biggest one for you?
I think the biggest thing for most people was the anticipation and the speculation. What are they changing? I heard this, I heard that. And, there's a 1,000 theories taking place up until they drop. And then everyone's like, that's it? Those were the only changes? Yeah. So I was a little disappointed with regard to the advanced cardiac life support and PALS updates. I thought there would have been a little more position on epinephrine and targeted temperature management. I thought we'd see more changes. Also disappointing to me was kind of like the position that they took with the Lucas device, because I have been using that for 10 plus years with tremendous, unbelievable outcomes. I've had people being so well perfused in ventricular fibrillation with their eyes open following commands in cardiac arrest. So I was disappointed with that. Yeah.
That seems to be a common theme, by the way, of, in the Facebook groups that I have been in on the EMS side. I don't know how they let me in those ones, but I'm in them. That seemed to be a pretty consistent post that happened with people very protective of their Lucas device and not happy with that.
Yeah. And of course, with anything mechanical in the environments that we work in that are really low resource and non-permissive, if you will. And we're in the business of moving people too. Managing the Lucas, having somebody like a CPR coach dedicated to making sure the Lucas is in the right spot, doing the right thing, is paramount if you want it to work properly. So, take the Lucas from my cold dead hands is what I'm saying.
Seems to be consistent.
Jumping in, I think Ashley's question was, can you still purchase the 2020 cards and materials?
As of today, we are issuing 2020 materials. Yeah. And I would anticipate they'll be available because AHA is drawing a line in the sand at the end of February. So they're not going to throttle those that have not completed the update up until then.
Yeah. And so Ashley, specifically, like if you want to try to find the 2020 BLS hard code or card, I would literally go to Shop CPR and type in, like, the way that we found most of it was to go into Shop CPR. There's like on the top right is the magnifying glass and typing in 2020. Hopefully you'll find it. But it was hard to kind of figure out all the different nuances and what's changed. So maybe that'll help, but give that a shot for the actual links to purchasing the cards and the hard code.
Ashley wants to know, Chris, how do you think it will affect device usage within fire departments?
So there is a little blurb in the verbiage. They're basically taking the stance that they've seen no significant improvement in outcomes with the use of the Lucas. And it is, they're kind of identifying the fact that it really does depend on the environment that you're in if the Lucas is appropriate. So I think that gives us the door is still slightly ajar for us to use the Lucas device because we are not in a fixed position in a high resource, well lit environment in one spot treating these patients. So I think that little blurb in their description, and I can't quote it directly, I'm paraphrasing, but it does say that depending on the environment, the Lucas is still appropriate. I think it quotes safety or hazard or something like that.
Okay, so Wayne now says they will. And I know, so Wayne is also on Hoven up in Minnesota. So he's saying they're not going to abandon it because of firefighter safety. So I'm going to ask the ignorant question: what's the tie for the Lucas and firefighter safety?
Being in the back of a moving vehicle and standing
See.
up to do CPR or being seatbelted next to the patient.
And then you get to just put the Lucas on while you're in transport.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we start the Lucas as fast as we possibly can.
That probably makes sense. While in the session, they asked, what's his name, the ACLS guy, about working while the ambulance is in motion. It's probably tied to the Lucas device.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So let's see. There'll be an odd time frame to make sure we're issuing the correct card for the curriculum used. So, Ashley, and I don't have a last name in here, so apologize if you're already on Hoven. So that's part of the reason for us that we tie the course, our courses and sessions to what they registered is exactly the card that gets issued. So you can't run in Hoven if you schedule a 2020 course, which will say right in the beginning, that's going to issue a 2020 card if you use the e-card integration. So as long as the instructor is looking at the course name and teaching to that course name, the card will get issued to the bank and it will have to be the right card. And then for the 2025 courses, it'll be the same. 2025 courses will be mapped to the new card. So part of what we're doing there is holding that hard line that those are those things. So we're up a little bit more. Hey guys, we've 10x'd in size. We went from 2 to 20 people on the calls. So the trend is in the right direction. So going back to some housekeeping for anyone who's on Hoven, who's just joining. Anything that's in the platform now, including your sessions, materials, should all be treated as 2020 and issuing 2020 guidelines. We have the 2025 courses loaded in. They're in our draft state. We'll release them so you can start scheduling sessions for that once we have the brand new materials. So there'll be a new set of materials all mapped to the right URLs for the key codes, the right purchase links if you're using purchase links for people to purchase the materials on their own. But it will all be tied to the right SKUs for 2025, and we'll send out an alert and all the bulletins when it's ready for scheduling. And then that way, any course or session that's scheduled to a 2020 course will issue the right cards, and anyone for 2025 will issue the 2025 cards.
And we're doing a little diff as well, and I'm kind of gathering all the information and compiling it. So you'll be able to see what was the old name for the course, what's the new name for the course, same thing for the certifications. We're putting a link for even, here's what the new slug is, what we call it, so that, based on, your URL structure, you're going to add that slug in and it'll redirect you to the new classes and courses as well. So we're systematically managing through all different aspects of it as well.
Mm-hmm. And Chubbs, I didn't talk about the website stuff. So those people who are linked, using Hoven, you're linking a website to Hoven. For the 2020 courses, nothing will change right now. For the 2025, you'll have to change the new URLs.
That is correct. And I think the instructor stuff too, we're gently waiting to figure out, because it seems like with the instructor stuff, it's like a direct hard cutoff. Like nobody's really able to issue the new certs until like March 1st. At least that's my takeaway. Correct me, because I want to make sure we do the right thing for all of you. But seemingly that's the date. So our current thought process is the URLs won't necessarily change. We'll just deprecate the old URLs. And moving forward, starting, March 1st, it'll be the new ACLS instructor, BLS instructor, a handful of other instructor trainings that they've changed the guidelines for.
Correct.
So that should be pretty seamless. The links shouldn't break at that point in time for you.
That is cool.
Yeah.
All right, Dave asked a question. you can use your 2020 card banks up until February 28th. Yes.
That's correct.
And I don't think it doesn't recycle those cards after the fact. It's use it or lose it after up until the 28th.
That's been unclear to me. And maybe, Chris, you can help answer that question. Like, what happens if you've got like 1,000 e-cards sitting that are, your 23,001 e-card ID or what have you?
Wholesale them. Get rid of them. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to think back in time. Is this the first 5-year period where everything has been e-card? Or were we still using paper 6 years ago? So
Chris is still apparently issuing paper cards. He never got rid of them.
Now, listen, if I have to physically issue cards myself, something's gone horribly wrong with my business model. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I would imagine. I don't know. I don't want to speculate.
Sam is offering that they convert. So we don't have. If Sam and Ryan are saying they should automatically update to 2025 cards. That's what happened in 2020.
Okay. Fair.
So we're second one. Thanks, Wayne, Ryan, and Sam. We're going to count that as triangulated. In 2015, e-cards to 2020. So,
yeah. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
All right. Let's see. Any other questions while we're in here? Oh, that's what they said. Oh, Ryan is on the education subcommittee. Ryan, do you want to join us on camera? No pressure. He's going to log out. Chris. Oh, he does. All right. I got to kick one of you off.
I'll jump off.
Oh, Chris has been. All right, Chris.
No, I'll say I don't know. I whatever. This is your show, so you make the call.
Well, if it was mine, I'll just leave you guys.
I would be walking the plank right now if it was only John on this one. There'd be a ball and chain, and I'd be walking that plank. So, John, let me know if you need me dropping. You can have, and I can jump back in.
All right, Chubbs, I'm going to pull you off because I know that you'll always come back on. So let's see if we get. I would like to see Chris and Ryan in a little bit of a conversation. So, all right, cool. Chubbs.
All right, drop me.
Hang up and listen. All right, hold on. Got to get Ryan. This is actually not that easy to do on the co-host side. Ryan, can you make sure you follow me on here and then I'll add you in? There we go. Hey. I also want to talk about the if someone's got an opinion, the recommendations for, not recommendations, but the hint at having more people in a BLS skill check, I thought was an interesting one. Hello, Ryan.
Hello. I was going to tell you didn't have to kick them off. I'm happy to answer anything via text or through the chat. So, but I guess Shubs has the power to boot us off if he wants us gone. So.
Would you, since you were comfortable enough to disclose that you're going to run your transition in a week, what does that look like? Trying to get everybody switched over in a week.
Yeah, and I had thrown in the chat, which I don't know if you saw that, Chris, but I suspect that I have a smaller volume than you do. I don't know your numbers, but if you're one of the largest in New York, you're probably going to, be quadruple what I have. So I'm looking at 418 total instructors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right. So it's a little easier lift for me, most likely. So here's what I essentially did. And I do this every update cycle. And it's a good time to, one, make sure everybody's contact information is correct within our own database. Because, prior to Hoven, it was up to us, not necessarily the instructor, to update their contact information. And we are We are still, full disclosure, transferring over from another platform. So we're to Hoven. So we're migrating in steps. But and so that's the nice thing within Hoven is, they need to go in and update that stuff. And so the very first thing we did was everybody, we just had a simple Gmail form. And everybody made sure that they put all their current contact information in there, and we verified that that's actually what we had. And we did that on purpose. That way, when we completed step 2, which was direct everybody to make sure that they can log into Atlas, because we know not all instructors have a need necessarily to go into Atlas as frequently as a TCC will. And that's a little bit on the honor system, because there's not really a way for us to know if they can log in unless they tell us that they can't. But we gave them a day to do that piece. We gave them 24 hours to do that. And then lastly, using through the e-learning platform, we distributed out the codes for the classes so that we can monitor who has started, who has not, and we gave them a 2-week time period, essentially. It's just shy of that. I think it was like 12 or 13 days, but they have until next Friday to complete that. I can proudly say every single person has started, and quite a number have already finished, because it's not that hard.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
It's not hard and it's not long, and you can start and stop. And so, so that was also, we sent out an email saying, hey, you're going to be receiving an email from AHA's e-learning platform that's going to contain the link to the appropriate online updates that you have to have. And our internal, which we didn't divulge to them that it's an internal deadline. We just said the deadline to complete this is this date.
Well, now it's out there. You're done.
Now it's out there. Now it's there, right? And so I'm sure some of them know, because some of them sat on the same meetings we did, watching the rollouts. Some of them they just won't go out and teach. They're not sitting on the science updates and doing all that jazz. So yeah, so that's kind of how we rolled that out, as we gave it to them in really 3 different steps. Just like, make sure we have your right contact information. And we could see that, because that G form, we could see how many responses we got back. So we knew everybody did that. So we had all the right contact information, so that when we then went into Training Central to send out those links, we knew we were sending it to the right places. They had literally just 2 days ago given us that information, right? That will be much easier once we are all, so by 2030 guidelines, we'll, for sure be over to Hoven. That'll be a lot easier to know.
Thanks for the buffer, Ryan. Thanks for giving us the 5-year buffer to get you moved over.
No. I just mean that, we're, as I said, we're kind of transitioning, off of the old platform into yours, and doing that in smaller chunks, simply because, we're starting our transfer. I mean, we've been on there, a few months now, but we had some use case things that we had to look at, and then the guidelines rolled out. So I didn't want to dump everything on everybody all at once, and so that's why we did that. But yeah, it'll be much easier the next rollout, because then we'll be able to, assuming Training Central still exists, we'll be able to just kind of integrate that into, through Hoven, being able to launch those out to everybody. So
yeah, we're pulling it together with we have, and I know for Chris and First Response Advantage, we'll do some of this. I think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to have the instructor update courses in there. You'll still be able to deliver the codes, but like with everything with Training Central, we can tell you they've accessed the code. It'll get them to get their instructor profile or the beginnings of their profile created in the platform. But Training Central, as of right now, does not give you direct access to know that they've completed it yet. We'll keep asking. I think as more and more and more blended learning gets used, there might be opportunities to do it. In no secret, in typical Hoven fashion, we usually ask around the horn between the 3 agencies. One usually takes the lead, and then the others start to follow. So hopefully we have a chance to do that with the blended learning stuff. Certainly by 2030, that would be nice.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do those rollouts. I mean, Chris, I don't want to assume anything, but you probably directed them to go to the courses and purchase, even though they're free, but purchase the course right through Shop CPR or the e-learning platform.
Yes, and I told them I would
complete it.
reimburse them the fee as well.
Correct. Yes, because I mean, why not? So, but yeah, and again, for us being a little bit small, I mean, it's still 400 people, but nonetheless, we still, we utilize Training Central, and that gives us, like I said, that visibility to know that they have completed it, and and it's not going to be as abrupt necessarily as like Friday. You're unaligned out the door as much as it is. We also realize that some people might be on vacation, or they might be, in a spot where maybe they do need some more time. So those people, I mean, it'll be a much smaller number that we can address individually and say, hey, why haven't you done this? Right. And give them that. I mean, we want it done quickly. Just so then it's everybody's on 25. Like, we don't have this back and forth of, who's doing what. But, again, not knowing your numbers, but like, if you've got 4,000 instructors, that's, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah, and some are busier than others, right? So
Absolutely.
Do you got to shake the tree a little bit. And getting an 80 or 90% solution right now is going to be pretty good, and then you can work on those outliers.
Yep. And that's exactly my thought process is, because the second you tell people it's not due until, basically February 28th, you're going to have that subset of people that are going to, it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. They'll be, they have good intentions of doing it. They just kind of forget that, and the AHA now, we will have no control over that, as Chris. Like, they will pull you out of Atlas and unalign you, and like, it's the same thing with renewals. Like, you have to have those things done, or you're just toast. And I don't want that to happen to any instructor. So,
sure.
How are you guys handling, or thought about handling, so new instructors that go, or new instructor certifications, since we were just doing this in our platform because we're setting up the new instructor courses. We won't release the new instructor courses until the actual new date, because you're still supposed to teach the old instructor course, and then they're supposed to take the refresh right away, which I joked was like when you used to buy a computer and then you open it up and it spends 4 hours having to download new software. Do you, so how do you handle that? Do you just make them go right into the refresher after the instructor course?
So as of right now, yes, until the instructor course is updated and reflects the single standard.
So take 2 courses pretty much.
Yeah.
Fun.
These are the hoops we need to jump through. The saving grace here is that Atlas is so reliable and never goes down. That just makes everything easier.
Sorry, that was my outside laugh.
All right. Well, I can't. It's live with no delay, so unfortunately, whatever Chris says, I'll still do. But I can edit it. So
I'm sorry, my New York filter is broken.
I'm Midwest. I'm in Illinois, Missouri area. So,
by the way, I mean, if anyone in the chat has a question, fire it off. I've got to scroll through this very tiny list. But other than that, I mean, thanks for everyone who's joined. It's a quaint little group, but cool for the first time we've ever done this. And thanks, Ryan, for doing a cameo on camera.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Shubs, you had a question. You said, are both paid? Let's see.
Both what?
Yeah, both what, Shubs?
You're talking about updates?
Yeah, I think if you're asking about the refresh, the refresh is free.
Yeah, I was being facetious earlier when I said I reimbursed my instructors for the cost of the class.
Oh, I should have known it had to be free.
Yeah.
In that case.
Yeah, the updates are free.
Yeah, updates
One of
and
very few
features.
things.
Let's see. I think we're good. Sam, Chris, or Ryan, I'll put you on the spot again. Anything else from the training updates now that we've opened the soapbox that you would like to opine on? The one thing that was interesting to actually two things are interesting to me. One was the BLS more encouragement of having groups in the skills session, so having more people. I thought that was an interesting little one that they threw in. I'm a little bit less on the technical portion, more dynamics. And the second one was I'll be curious what happens with the ACLS with BLS card curriculum, whether that becomes the actual. I don't know if they're now everyone who's going to offer a bundle is supposed to utilize that curriculum or if it's a recommended curriculum. But I know for us, a lot of customers do the ACLS plus BLS, and now they're throwing that in as a curriculum.
Yeah.
So
I'm more interested to see what the employer says when their employee hands them a card and it says American Heart Association, ACLS, and BLS on the same card, and they've never seen it before. And then I get a phone call: "Is this legit, or is this a fake? I've never seen this before." So that's going to be another hurdle: is getting an HR department who's unfamiliar with the new standard to accept that as proof that they've met that competency.
on that note, so you reminded me of another one that Shubs and we've actively been talking about on our side is the naming of the blended learning courses now saying online. So like the official name is
Yes.
ACLS online.
So I have a number of hospitals in my area that will not accept an online course, and they've turned going through the vetting process as a new employee. They've told new employees if they come in with an online certificate that it's not valid, and then they have to come to us to retrain in a in-person manner.
I think for us, we don't know yet because I think on the card it's still going to say ACLS, so that'll be fine. But the official course name, which would be if they sent over the official course name, will say online. Hopefully that doesn't cause hopefully that doesn't cause an confusion with people thinking that it is online only. And then registering and realizing they have to do a skills check.
This happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Naming matters because, Heart Saver versus Heart Code, obviously two very different things, but people, because it has heart at the beginning of both of those, even new instructors like that haven't been in the AHA game for a long time. That's one of the questions we get answered a lot or asked a lot is, what, wait a minute, does Heart Saver, Heart Code, what? And so, like blended learning, that's pretty clear. I think I like that a lot versus, online because that sounds, I realize it's going to have the AHA logo on it, but, it sounds like you just went and searched for an online class at one of these, markets that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught this, Chris, or not, but during the science update, when they started talking about procainamide and bertillicium, I went into SVT thinking they were bringing those back or that was going to be a thing. And I'm like, oh, please don't. And then they said, are still found to not have, have any efficacy, essentially, and I was like, oh, thank God, because
I didn't even know they were still able to source bertillum. I thought we killed all those trees.
Yeah, there was a lot of things going through my head, but one of them was how do I cardiovert myself with an AED that's sitting here. But yeah, but thankfully, I found a lot of humor in that because I heard him start talking. It was I think it was one of the physicians, but anyway, whoever it was presenting started talking about it, and I was like, oh, what are they going to say about this?
Yeah. Also, we also, as instructors, we have to be mindful of the guidelines with regard to compliance, what the AHA is looking for on the delivery. And also for the BLS instructor, they now have that requirement that you need to teach 4 hours or 4 of those courses in a 2-year period that are more of a community outreach approach. And you can't do no more than 2 towards those 4 credits of the same course. So that's going to be another tracking issue to make sure that everyone meets that criteria for recertification.
Yes, I remember you sent us a note about that one.
Yeah. I wonder how many radars that snuck under for those that took the update.
So every level of instructor has to hit 4 community outreach per site per year.
Well, so technically the answer would be yes, because to be an ACLS instructor you need to be BLS, but it's in the BLS update.
Oh, BLS. Okay. Interesting. Good way to get more community involvement, though.
Absolutely.
All right, Ryan, thank you for your time. I'm going
Absolutely.
to
Yeah. You gonna boot me now?
I'm going to drop you, well, politely.
I
You can
understand.
hang
No.
up and listen. But awesome. Thank you for jumping in. That's really cool.
Anytime. Absolutely. So nice to meet you, Chris.
Likewise. Nice meeting you as well.
We should do this more often.
Now, I have no idea how to log off here, so I'm going to be the
I
old
have
guy
a
in the
little
room.
X. I have a little
Perfect.
eject button. Yeah.
All
There
right.
should be a shoot. We'll see. Chris. All right, let's get Shubs back in here. And then I'll probably wrap this up really quick because I don't want to overstay the welcome. But thanks for everyone who joined. Hey, Shubs.
How's it going?
Good. I am going to wrap us up. So thanks everyone for joining the first ever SitRep Live and hanging out with us. This is really cool. Been wanting to do this since we started writing. I'll do one last update on the housekeeping for everyone who's on Hoven that dialed in last, since this was about the 2025 updates. But before I do that, I will also say thanks because I missed the milestone. I caught it today when I sent out this morning's update, but we're over 1,100 subscribers on SitRep. So we've got a pretty good audience. Last week, tried to open up the chat and remove the whole paywall that Substack has. There was a bug that occurred, so nobody could get in the chat. But anyway, one of our goals for the SitRep over the next year is to actually turn it into a community for people that are trying to help anyone get better in their business. So we got rid of all the paywalls on there that Substack had and made it free. There's a chat if you go to sitrep.hoven.app or any one of the things. Ask questions in there. We will jump in and try and answer. There's a lot of great people, as you see. Ryan, who hopped on to answer questions. Chris, who's been willing to show his face for this entire broadcast. Thank you, Chris. But we have a huge, great community of people that I know want to help everyone get better at what they're doing. And so if you jump into that chat and ask questions, we'll help find somebody to answer those questions. And I would love to get feedback from everyone in comments in the community. So we're at 1,100 subscribers, which is awesome. Just a couple of months ago, that was in the maybe 50s. So on the Hoven side, if you're in the platform, awesome. If you're not, cool. Thanks for hanging out. Everything that's in there today, if you publish, it's all connected to 2020 guidelines. The next couple of days, you'll get a Ready for 2025 update. We have the courses that are loaded in the platform with all the descriptions, everything optimized there. We're getting all the brand new materials in that will be connected to the right access instructions, the right key code parameters. Everything will be ready to go for you. Just jump in and schedule, and then you'll have a clear designation between your 2020 course and materials and your 2025 course and materials. And for those of you who are on Red Cross and HSI, we'll be doing the same update with them as we get updates on what their changes are. So we'll go through the same thing with the guidelines. But thank you again for joining, and we'll see you on the next time.
Can I make an ask?
Yes.
I'm going to sling our product because that's part of my job. So if you haven't looked at Hoven or interested, reach out to John. We're happy to chat. There's no pushy sales. We're generally trying to make it work for everybody. I used to own a bunch of training centers in my past life. We realized software was a challenge, so we're trying to make it better. There's no hard feelings, but would love to get feedback from all of you guys and try to make a better version of software and try to actually move the industry forward too. So reach out. We're always happy to help. And if we can help, we'll be transparent about it and tell you what you could do and workarounds if that's possible. So thank you all for joining too. We really appreciate it. Chris, nice to meet you virtually. Looking forward to
Likewise,
keeping
sir.
in touch.
Sounds good. Godspeed, everyone.
Take it easy.